How you guys doing? Hair of None here. And I'm going to get into a little rant. I don't know if this is going to make a YouTube highlight or not. I probably should keep my mouth shut on this shit because honestly, this never goes well for me because you guys don't know me for PvP. And honestly, why should you? But I'm looking at a lot of comments, and there's been a lot of discussion because of sloads and other things like that. I mean, honestly, the whole sloads argument is kind of moot to me because honestly, you had Wizards Riposte and other sets that did the same goddamn thing before. The problem is that a lot of the stuff here is just being well known now, and guess what? Like, everyone knows about it. Like, it's easy to know that sloads is going to make it so that it's a soft counter to so many other abilities. But things I'm seeing here on the forums here kind of attest to what I think a major issue that you have inside PvP is. So, I'm not trying to label anyone out here, okay? But this is just one player out of many inside there, and I replied to this as well. But here, on PC, NA, VivX, there's a DC Smallman that is just focusing down people one at a time with the staff light attacks stacking sloads, and at least someone in a group that would defile and with Scoria. Cheesiest thing that I've seen in PvP since as long as I can remember. That damage adds up super quick. I am at the point where I make a point not to go near that group if I figure out where they are, if I'm solo. You can go on the forums to read my reply, but we established in that person's comment, we have a DC group that synergized to decide that, hey, we're all going to wear sloads. One of us is going to wear Durox to give major defile, and one of us is going to wear Valken Scoria helmets to do extra damage on top of that. Then, when I'm solo, and I'm facing those multiple people, I decided not to go near them because they're doing too much damage to me. Which indicates that when he's going against other groups of players, he's fine going against that. It's a mentality that I quite don't get with our PvP community here. Where does it come into the fact that we think that we should be 1vxing players, even bad players, all the time? I'm not saying that you shouldn't be able to 1vx players once in a while. Not at all. Like, you watch somebody playing Rainbow Six Siege and getting a ace 1v5ing the entire other enemy team. It's amazing, right? It's something that's great for a highlight. I played Dark Age of Camelot. I played EverQuest. I played Warhammer Online. I played a ton of MMOs, okay? And like a 1v2, you can sometimes pull off. A 1v3, fine. But when you're starting to look at like 1v5s, 1v6s, it should be not the common place where you're expecting to win. If the balance is so freaking bad in the game that an average group of, a moderate-sized group of average players can't beat a person, there's something wrong with the balance. There is something that's just entirely wrong. Like, I can't really explain it. It's the mentality that we have for so long has been, oh, we see all these other guys doing 1vx builds here, we should be able to do it too. And the problem here is that you read other comments. I'm not going to get into those other comments there because they're even more toxic, and I feel I could be calling these people out. But the comments are like, these inexperienced, this is a casual players group here. This is a inexperienced players group here. We're all skilled players here. We shouldn't have to deal with this shit here. I mean, honestly, it's just fucking stupid as hell. You complain the fuck out of, like, why aren't people playing PvP? Why are they so empty here? It's because it's not skilled enough. No, it's because you fucking told the casual players to get the fuck out of there. That's why it's out of there. You're acting so goddamn toxic for so goddamn long, and then you're complaining, oh, PvP is dying because it's not skilled enough. No, it's because you guys were fucking dicks for so goddamn long to people that no one wants to go into that shit. it's so inaccessible to go into PvP that the casual player and the new player don't want to get into it. And then when a set comes along that makes it accessible, it makes it a soft counter to all the bullshit that we've been working on for so goddamn long, that you don't want to go in there. What the fuck? Like, okay. Like, do you expect them just going with paper armor and feed your AP all the goddamn time? What the fuck? I'm sorry, but it's a wake-up call to a lot of players. We've been having people working on crutches for so goddamn long, I don't know what to tell you anymore. If it's a soft counter, right, and it lets the Zerg go ahead and do the Zerg thing, let him fucking do it. Yes, I've used Slodes. Yes, I've used Durox. I've also used other goddamn sets and made more builds in this goddamn game than I can think of. But honestly, take a look at yourselves and ask yourself, if Slodes is so goddamn bad because it's a soft counter to everything they're doing, everything you're doing, okay? Maybe it's not Slodes that's the issue. Maybe it's all the other bullshit sets and all the other bullshit builds and the fact that it's so inaccessible to the casual and inexperienced player that they don't want to come in and play. And I don't want this all to be negativity, okay? So go ahead, let's nerf Slodes, let's nerf Durox. It didn't get enough of a nerf in this patch to really affect its soft counter ability, but here's the challenge I have to you. If you're going to complain about Slodes, if you're going to complain about Durox, if you're going to complain about Major Defile and the fact that we have a way to counter people that are able to quick heal and the ability for folks to just simply block mitigation things, the ability to make a glass cannon build and instantly cloak yourself out of it, I want a flip side. I want you to tell me, how do we make PvP accessible to the casual and new player again? How do we make PvP inviting to these players again? It's definitely not. You say that you want to have more skill and more more action-based combat, but if you don't make it accessible to these new players, and we wonder why people don't see ZOS investing into PvP when we have such a toxic mentality against players that are trying to come in and play. Explain it to me. How do we make it both? Because if you want it more skilled, fine, but more skilled also means that it's going to be less accessible to the new players that don't understand the mechanics. I can go ahead and try explaining these mechanics to players, but there's simply just so much I can do. And honestly, I don't have much respect for a lot of players out there that call themselves quote-unquote skilled because they have millions of points of AP from farming bad players and never offering them a bone. Like, a lot of players have been they've been 1vxing, and I don't think that anyone ever felt bad about it. And I'll also challenge any other streamer out there that does PvP to explain how to get more casual and more new players into it. Because honestly, that's what's missing inside a lot of ESO PvP, the casual new player experience where they can enjoy it rather than simply get farmed for hours and get maybe one kill on somebody that's been using PvP mechanics that are just kind of cancerous in general. I mean, call me a noob, call me whatever, but fucking throw something back here. Come on. Like, if we're going to say that you have to get rid of all this stuff here, let's be positive about it for once. Let's not just add to the salt content here and give somebody a heart attack. Huh? That's all I'm asking. Something to make it accessible to new players and casual players. At least do that for me. If you're going to say that you're going to... You can have your 1vx conversations as well and where you should be able to do it and where you shouldn't be able to do it. But realize, every time that you do a 1vx, if that X is like a 10 people or 20 people group that you're Xing and you're just owning all of them, I have to think that there's something wrong with the game design at that point. You can call them bad players all you want, but if that 20 people leave, that's less population. And if you keep on doing it day after day and people keep on leaving, yeah, fine, you're going to be the ruler of PvP, but you're going to be the ruler of a ghost town. That's not good. Think about it. Anyway, that's Year of None. Have a good time. Meow, meow, meow.